I wanted to talk about today taking a leap. Taking a leap even if you are scared. Um, because I find that it's just really important given everything that we've been through. And I'll talk a little bit more as we go on to say 2020 so far has been a tough year. It's been a challenging year. And for a lot of people, a lot of us, we started the year with a lot of hope, with a lot of anticipation. There were things we wanted to achieve, there were goals we had, and suddenly we had the pandemic. That happened. And then as a result, now we're beginning to open up back again as a country, but for some people, they're looking at their goals, they're looking at their plans for 2020. And some of the things that they wanted to do, they're looking at that and they're thinking, can I do this again? Can I achieve this goal? And so, if this is your situation, if you're in a point where you need to take a leap, you want to make some changes, you want to accomplish some goals, but you are feeling stuck or you're afraid or fear is beginning to cripple you, then I want this video to talk to you specifically. I wanted to talk to your situation. So let's get started and talk about how you can actually make that change, how you can begin to not become a victim of the situation, but really just taking advantage of it and just moving in spite of that. So if you're looking at your goals, if you're looking at the plans that you have, and you're wondering, how can I go about achieving this? Then let me list out some steps. Let me give you some direction, point you in the way that you can begin to work to accomplish it. Give me a thumbs up if you're with me, if you're feeling this, if you can hear me, or if you have any questions. By all means, you can just also drop me any question or just have a conversation or even request to join me live. That's something that's open to do. Okay, so let's talk about the steps that you need to take. That's it. I don't know about you, but I decided, yay! Thank you, Christine. I got the tea bags, and I'm just gonna digress a bit. I got the tea bags because it makes me feel really super special. I got it from Inspired Tea Bags, and it's got quotes on it. So every time I drink a cup of tea, I read something that is motivating, something that is inspiring, and so I love my tea bag. This particular one says, "Sit back, and relax and do the things you never got a chance to do." So yeah, if you get a chance, it's just really beautiful. Just a reminder while you drink your tea. Okay, so like I mentioned, it's been a really challenging year. And what are the goals that you have? What are some things that you want to do? How are you getting on with it? Are you able to achieve it? Have you been able to take steps to make that a reality? If not, what's holding you? What's keeping you? What steps do you want to start taking to make that a reality? And so the thing about fear, first thing, when I talk to people who have fear, one of the things they worry about is the fear of failure, which is the biggest situation, is the biggest challenge when we're going through a situation, when we have goals that we want to achieve. It's one, what if I fail? What if I don't achieve that goal that I have? What if I start to do it and it fails? It bumps right in my face. What if I try to start a business and it blows up? What if I try to go for the promotion and they turn me down and I don't make it? What if I start that relationship and it ends up not being what I wanted and it does not succeed? And all of these thoughts begin to cripple people. All of these thoughts may be going through your mind and you're thinking, maybe I'm not going to start. And whether it's consciously or subconsciously, sometimes those feelings and those thoughts actually will keep you where you are from achieving your goal. And so what do you do about it? Well, I want you to begin to think about it this way. What about the opportunities that you have missed out on because you did not take a step? I know we've had a challenging year. I know that 2020 has been really crazy and there's been a lot of pain. But if you don't go ahead with the plan that you have, whatever it may be, what what about the opportunities that you're going to miss if you continue to stay in that mindset? If you continue to fear failure, think about the possibilities that you will not make happen. Think about in the past the opportunities that you have missed out on because you were afraid. And then project into your future and think about the opportunities that you possibly can miss out on because you do not take action. And so that's what I want you to think about as you begin to contemplate what will people think. Oh, as you begin to contemplate, that's the second step. As you begin to think about, well, what if I fail? Well, think about all the businesses we have today that are surviving, that are thriving. Think about the fact that we have Virgin. Think about the fact that we have British Airways. Think about your local pastry shop down in the corner of the road. Think about the place you work at. What if those people did not take a leap? What if those people did not... Hey, Gary. Thanks for joining us. But think about those people. What if they did not take a leap? What if they did not go for it? Because we all have fear. So fear is not a question. It's about what you're going to do in spite and irrespective of the fear. How are you going to continue to move on? So if those companies did not take the leap, if those companies did not take action, the world as we know it today will not be the world that we see. Because people will just be sitting in and people will just be, just not moving forward to make a reality their plans, their dreams, their goals. And so when you think about fear and you want to stop and you don't want to keep moving, just think about the opportunities that you have missed in the past and the opportunities that you could likely miss in the future. And what kind of life would you want to create if you keep giving up on opportunities? What I also want you to do when you think about what if I fail is to ride the wave of that thought. What do I mean? Okay, so that fear is coming to you saying, well, what if I fail? Okay, what's the big deal? So let's ride that thought. What if I failed? What if I fail? Okay, what would happen? If I try to start the business and it does not succeed, what happens? Okay, maybe my friends will laugh at me. Okay. So what if your friends laugh at you? Well, we'll move on. We'll get back to our normal lives. All right, so no big deal, right? That's it. We'll move back to our normal lives afterwards. Or, okay, you know what if I fail? What if I try to go for the promotion and I don't get it? What happens with that? Well, my colleagues will think maybe I'm not good enough. Okay, so what if they think you're not good enough? What happens after that? Well, I'll prove I'm good enough. I've proved my worth. I've proved it over and again. Ride the thought of that fear. Ride the thought of that fear that comes to you, the fear of failure. Just ride that thought through to the end. What happens after that? Well, I'll prove my worth. I'll show that I'm more than enough. I'll show that I have the capacity. I've shown it before in the work that I've done. Ride it to the end and you find out that it's not a big deal. There's nothing too much to it. Hey, Folly baby, thank you for joining us. I'm going to give you a wave right there. Okay, so just ride that to the end. But again, always coming back to the opportunities that you will lose out on if you don't pursue that dream. I was reading the story of Dyson, the man who made the Dyson vacuum the Dyson vacuum. Come on, people, help me here. The Dyson vacuum, right? And it was the fact that he had failed so many times before eventually bringing out that cordless vacuum that we see today, and that product made him a billionaire along other products that he made. But the point is, if he just sat down and continued to think about the fact that, you know what if I fail? What if I fail? What if I fail? Well, we're not going to have the cordless vacuum that we have today, and he's not definitely going to be a billionaire like he is. So go with that thought. All right, so what's the second thing people worry about? They think about it and they say, well, what will people say? What will people say? Well, what will people say that I am choosing a different path? What will people say, that I'm trying something new, that I'm trying something different? People are always going to talk. And whether they're talking about you or they're talking about something else, they're always going to talk. So don't let what will people say hold you back. And I know this from also my work with people. So part of what I do is working with clients who have a substance misuse problem. So whether it's drug or alcohol, I work with clients who have whether it's drug addiction or alcohol addiction. And sometimes they are doing so well. They're making so much recovery. And I'm going through with them in the session to say, okay, so what changes are you going to start making so that you will maintain your recovery? And they think about it and they say, well, you know what? I can't keep hanging out with the group of friends I hang out with who drink so much, I can't keep hanging out with them and whatever. And they're talking about the changes they need to make. But then you see that at that point they think, oh, bad man, they're going to think I'm big-headed. They're just going to think I'm above my level, that I'm better than them. And for them, that becomes an issue because you're thinking, wow, what will people think? But you cannot achieve success if you keep looking behind. Imagine that you were a sprinter and you're trying to race down and you're constantly looking behind you like, oh, who's coming next to me? You're not going to make it to the finish line because you're distracted. So when you have your sights thinking, well, what will people think? You're not going to make that leap. You're not going to start the business. You're not going to write the book. You're not going to go for the promotion because you're worried about them. Whereas your focus should be here on you. It's about you. What do you want to achieve for yourself? What do you want your future to look like 2 months from now, 5 months from now, a year, 5 years from now? What do you want your future to look like? If you keep worrying about what will people think, you're not going to go forward. And so that's the conversation I have with these clients who are doing well already and they're addressing their recovery, but they're concerned about what will people think. I don't want them to feel like, that I'm different, that I've changed. But the truth is they have changed. They decided that we're not going to do the drugs anymore. They decided that alcohol was not going to be a defining factor of their lives. But because they were conscious about what people thought, they were conflicted. Which brings me to the third point of what I'm going to be talking about, which is, let's see what I've got here. Fear that you might succeed. That conflict about what will people think, for some people, I saw that expressed in the fear of success. Now, I did not get this part. I really could not understand this part because for me, that's what all my hustling has been about. I've been hustling and I've been working so that I'll be successful. But here I am working with some clients and you're thinking, well, you know what? Being conflicted about success. And for them, that's a fear. That's a fear why they're not willing to take the next step, why they're not willing to take the leap. Because what if they're successful? What if that business actually takes off? What if they make partner? What if they become a director? Then that means, oh, okay, I may not get as much time with my family like I want to, or I may not be able to hang out with my friends like I want to, or my friends may now feel that I'm above them or that I'm acting like I'm above them, and and they're conflicted about that. So their fear of success is holding them back. Now, I'm not going to judge, right? Like I said to you, my hustle is about succeeding. So when I heard some people talking about what was holding them back was their fear of success, at first, it took me back, like, sorry, what are you saying? But I totally understand where they're coming from and I totally respect where they are at. But again, it's about moving forward. And so I said to them, well, the big question then is, what do you want? What do you want for your life? And until we make that part of it clear, you cannot move forward. And so if you're conflicted about something, so you want success, you want to take the leap, but you're conflicted about, something else. Like I said in the second issue with fear, or why people are afraid to take the leap, is the fact that they think about it and they say, what will people say? So for you, if you're conflicted about wanting success, you're not going to be able to move forward, whatever the conflict is. So whether the conflict is the fact that you are, you're not going to be able to, hey Robert, hi, thank you for joining us. So whether you are conflicted about the fact that, I don't want to be different, I don't want to be away from the people I know, I don't want to be, I don't want to have to sacrifice some time for my family. If that's your conflict, then let's sit down and talk about it, because you need to decide what it is you want. Because if you want success, if you want your life to be better, if you want 2021 to be great, if you want the rest of 2020 to be great, you would need to make that decision to say, what do you want? Do you want success? Do you want more joy? Do you want more happiness? Do you want to move from the level that you're at to the next? Because if you do, then there are steps that you need to take. And sometimes it may make other people uncomfortable, but that's part of the process. That's part of the journey. And so if you're conflicted, it's a good time to stop and think about what that conflict is about. Why are you conflicted? And what's holding you back? Okay, this is a time to have a sip of my tea. So, I know I've been talking a little bit. I want to give you an opportunity to ask any question if you have a question, or to drop a comment in the comment section, whatever it is that you want to say. Or you can actually request to join me live. So if you want to do that and you just want to come on live and say, you know what, Christiana, I totally get what you're saying. I agree with you, or no, or you have a question, by all means, you can just request to join me live and just, take a minute or two and say what you want to say, or ask a question, or just sip your tea, whatever you have. Okay. Thank you, Robert. Oh, that's so good. Thank you. Yes. Thank you for confirming that. That's great. Okay, so we'll move on, right? Okay. So, again, just talking about taking the leap. As I go on, by all means, you can drop me some information. What are the steps that you are taking? Because I also want to learn from you. I want to hear what you have to say and what you have to add to the conversation. So what steps are you taking to help you take the leap? What steps are you taking to address the fear that you have? Okay, so Christine, yes, tell me how to overcome the imposter syndrome feeling. Okay. All right, I hear you. Let me see. How do I address that? Do I address that now or... Okay, you know what? I'm going to talk to that. Yes. Wish I can go live, but I'm on my... Okay, not a problem, Robert. I think I'm looking at doing more of this IG series. So, keep your eyes peeled on my Instagram page, because I will be updating you when next I'm going to go live and what's that about and what that is about. I think I've got a few things up my sleeve. So yeah, check my page and I'll be able to tell you more. And yes, maybe you can actually join me live. That would be great. Okay, so Christine, how to overcome the imposter syndrome? That's a really good one, because that's something that plagues a lot of us, right? The imposter syndrome usually comes from two places. And one of the first things I say is, when you're having an imposter syndrome, I want you to look at where that's come from. Has it come from the fact that you've not prepared properly for whatever it is that you want to do? So for example, if I was going to teach on Instagram today, like I'm doing today, and I'm not prepared at all, I could have the imposter syndrome, because I'll be thinking, dear Jesus, who am I to talk about this? I don't even know what I'm talking about. That whole feeling will be amplified the more because I'm not prepared. But if you're prepared, okay, so you're saying, yes, okay, so I get you. Being made to feel like you don't belong. Okay, so that starts from a place, first of all, that will come from a place of worthiness. I would say that if people are projecting their feelings on you, making you feel like you don't belong, that's on them, right? That's them projecting their feelings on you. That's nothing to do with you. It's nothing to do with your capabilities. It's nothing to do with your abilities. It's on them. It's their issue. It's their negativity that they're trying to project on you. And so in a situation like that, first, you need to own your worthiness. It's knowing that you are worthy, irrespective of the situation. And I could go on into this really long and prolong it, but I'm going to keep it short. But it's first of all, it's understanding that one, you're worthy. And worthiness has no prerequisite. We're not worthy because we are pretty, we are not pretty. We're not worthy because we have money, we have finances, we know the people. We're not worthy based on our background. We're worthy simply because we exist, but simply because we're here. So first of all, own your worthiness. Own the fact that I have every right to be here. I deserve to be here. I've worked hard to be here. I've applied to be here. So I deserve to be here. That's one. Own your worthiness. Two, understand and reframe that emotion. Knowing that they are putting their negativity on you. It's nothing to do with you. Because you could take yourself exactly as you are and move yourself to a different environment, and you will find that people that love you in that new environment, they love you, they accept you just for who you are, nothing based on your capability. So don't let other people project on you their own negativity. Understand where that has come from. And so whenever they're projecting that, just realize that this has got nothing to do with my ability. Okay, so like I was saying in terms of the imposter syndrome is first understanding that, first, are you prepared? Have you practiced what you need to do? Because when you don't practice, fear can come in and just make you begin to feel like an imposter. But two, we all experience it. In talking about fear, I'm just going to talk about how you can reframe fear. So whenever you feel that imposter syndrome, you can just reframe it, so that instead of it working against you, it's working for you. So I'll talk a little bit more about that, but know that it's something that we have, and it's more our insights, just our minds just saying to us the fact that we're stepping out, we're doing something bigger than what we're used to, what our comfort zone is. As a matter of fact, I made a little drawing which I'll talk about. Hey, can you see that? That's really funny. My daughter told me that it looks like it's something a 4-year-old drew, but I'll talk a little more about that. But yeah, Christine, as I go a little further, I think I'm going to be able to answer more of your question about the imposter syndrome. I'll be able to answer it better. But by all means, if you want to come live, you're welcome to. All right, so I talked about the fact that the reasons why people are afraid. I think my battery is going low. Can you imagine that? Okay. I hear you, Roberts. I hear you. Okay. I hear you. I see that. And yeah, I can talk a little more about that, but I will take forever if I wanted to speak to that specifically. But we can talk off camera, they say, stuff like that. Yeah, and I'll tell you how to do that if you want to. So talking about the fear, I talked about the ways in which fear shows up and why people don't take the leap, because again, it's about taking the leap to achieve what you want to do. So the first was the fact that people fear that they might fail if they take the leap. Some people fear what people will say. Some people fear success. And these are some reasons why people are afraid to take the leap. So what do? Now, what you need to understand about fear is this, that we all have fear and we all experience fear. Fear is our mind's way, our brain's way of trying to protect us and keep us safe. The people who don't, you cannot hear me. Can everybody hear me? I just got a message to say that you can hear me. Would you please give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, just so I know if it's just Southlands, if it's just you not able to hear me, so I'll know it's your device. But I want to hope I've not been talking to myself all this while. Oh yes, okay, great. So you can hear me. Thank you, Gary. You can hear me. Oh, fantastic. Okay, Southland, I think it's your device. Maybe turn it up a little bit more, and I'm sure you'll be able to hear me, because Christine and Gary can hear me, and others can hear me. I guess Roberts can hear me as well. Okay, so let me know if you get that sorted and if it's okay. All right, so I talked about fear, right? But it's important. So like I was saying, fear is your mind's way, or our brain's way of trying to keep us safe from danger. So whenever we experience danger, whenever whenever the brain feels danger, we experience fear, because it's the instinct that we get. Okay. Okay, I'm glad you got that started right now. Well done. Fantastic. So it's our brain's way of signaling danger. And so it tries to protect us. And fear really is not a bad thing because, unfortunately, fear does get some negative press, and it's like this thing we have to attack. But no, fear is actually a good thing because think about it. If you didn't have fear, you're just going to cross the road without even caring because, hey, you're just walking across the road and you'll be knocked down and killed by a car. Or you're just going to jump into the pond, and be eaten by crocodiles. Or you stand at the top of a mountain and just jump off of it because you know what, you have no fear. So now that's going to be a disastrous life, right? So no, that's not what we want. We need our fear, and so fear is a good thing. But what I want you to reframe, the way I want you to reframe fear is this: one, whenever you feel fear or whenever you feel that imposter syndrome, I want you to reframe it and say, hey, this is just this is a realization that I am stepping out of my comfort zone and I am going for something bigger and I'm going for something better. Let fear be your signal. Like you have traffic lights and you have the green, the amber, and the red. Whenever you feel fear, whenever you feel like I don't belong here, or, whoa, who am I to do this? Who am I to talk to these people? Who am I to achieve this? Who am I to dare to dream or to go for this audacious goal? Whenever you feel that, and whenever that fear wells up, just reframe it and think, that's it. I got the signal. That means it's a signal that you are stepping out to go for something bigger, something better. That instead of just sitting on the sidelines and doing nothing and watching people achieve their goals and their dreams and making big moves, that this is your signal to say you're part of that clique, you're part of that group. You're not just talking, you're not just talking the talk, but you're now actually walking the walk. So whenever you feel that fear or the imposter syndrome, just know that, okay, this is my signal. I'm doing something good. I'm doing something big. I'm stepping out. I'm going out there. I want to influence my world. I want to make a change to the world. Let that be a signal. So that's how you reframe fear. So instead of hiding and thinking, oh my goodness, I can't do this, I'm going to just totally go under, just think, this is just a signal. Because see, the brain cannot make a distinction between, my word is tight. I need tea. I really need tea. Okay. Did you get your cup of tea or something? Because I asked you, wine or tea? Do you guys have a drink? Because this is a good time to have one. I'm being cheeky here. All right. So, anybody got tea or coffee? Anybody got wine? Yes? Thumbs up? No? Got a cup of water or no? Go on, Christiana. Just keep talking. All right. Okay. So, that's the first thing. So instead of just feeling fear, instead of letting fear cripple you, let fear be your signal. Let it just be a reminder that, hey, I'm on a big path here. Hey, I'm not sitting on the sidelines. I am actually walking the walk. I'm not just talking the talk. Don't you just love those people? Oh, you're my girl. You got your Swedish cider. Yes. Well done, you. That's good. So, don't you just love people who are brave? Don't you just love people? I don't know if you followed anybody's story, but if you followed some people's story of how they made success and read how they started from nothing, how they just finished secondary school and then, or university, and then they went out and started this little project and it became big and it became something. If you followed any of the stories, whether you've read it or you know people who are involved in it, I bet you're proud. I bet you're happy for them and you're thinking, wow, you go, you just do that. Yeah? And that's the same thing. Are you supposed to be drinking then? Or you're just being good? Okay, Christine is saying, okay, all right, well done you. So, you're just really proud for those people. You're just happy for them. Like, wow, they made a success for themselves. And sometimes you may be reading that and thinking about your own dreams and your own goals and wishing, oh, I wish that was me. I wish that was me. I wish that was me. Well, this is your opportunity. Don't let fear hold you back. So let it be your signal. So whenever you feel it, like I mentioned, our brain doesn't know the difference between trying to protect us, keep us safe from dying and being eaten by crocodiles, and just you stepping out to achieve your goals. As far as your brain is concerned, that is an unfamiliar situation. That is something that it does not quite have the capacity to deal with, and so you experience fear. So don't see fear as negative. See fear as one, a signal, and two, in terms of refraining fear, just love on fear. Oh, okay. Wow, you are very disciplined, Christine. Well done, you. So the second thing is to, whenever you feel fear, instead of letting it cripple you, I want you to see it as a love note from yourself to you. And I know that sounds crazy, right? A love note from yourself to you. What are you talking about, Christiana? Is there any kind of alcohol in that tea? No, it's not. Right, but this is what I mean. Whenever you feel fear, just acknowledge. Acknowledge the fact that your body is sending you some love. It's trying to protect you. It's trying to keep you safe. It's trying to preserve you. And so when you feel fear, think, oh, okay. All right, you're just trying to keep me safe. You don't want me to get hurt. You don't want me to be in harm's way. Thank you. And just thank that feeling, acknowledge it, sit with it and say, thank you. I see that you have my best interest at heart right now, but I'm still going to go for this goal. I'm going for this goal. So again, like I said, fear is just that instinct where our brain tries to protect us from harm, and it's trying to keep us safe. It's trying to help us survive. And your brain cannot distinguish the fear of public speaking from the fear of running into traffic and being eaten by a crocodile. Your brain cannot distinguish it. So now this is time for you to step up with some self-awareness when you're going to take that leap and say, okay, all right, I hear you. You're looking out for me, so thank you. So acknowledge that fear. Know that this is just a love note from your brain to you, and welcome it and say, all right, but we're going forward anyway. Now, those are the two ways I want you to refrain your fear. Every time you're stepping out, every time you want to do something big, go for it. And just whenever you feel those fear, reframe it that way. Now, okay, let's do this. It's not upside down. Beautiful, right? My daughter said it feels like a 5-year-old dream, but it will get the message home. I promise. So I drew this radar, so to say. And I wanted to show you kind of what happens when you take the leap and what will happen if you don't take the leap. So for example, you're here, right? Your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is when you are at peace, you're okay, you're not daring, you're just sitting and watching other people achieve their dreams. You're just sitting and going by life, just regular stuff. You go to work, you take care of your family, you do whatever it is that you're doing. You're at peace, you're calm, you're not afraid of anything. You're just in a good, safe place. But on the other hand, you're not taking bold moves. You're not accomplishing those dreams and those goals that have been on your heart. You're not pursuing a bigger or better life, whatever that version and that definition is for you. You're just, where you are, just life as it is, right? That's your comfort zone. But when you move away from your comfort zone and when you begin to take a leap and you go out of your comfort zone, the next phase you get into is a realm of possibilities. Anything can happen here positively. Yes, you may fail. Yes, people may talk as they always do. But then there's so much more possibilities here that is not here. Because here, you're just maintaining the status quo. But right here, you're moving into possibilities. You just could make some doors open. You're moving beyond what is normal, what is safe. And yes, that fear will come back. Yes. But you're moving forward. Now, when you go and keep moving from the comfort zone into possibilities and you keep pushing past your comfort zone, the next realm you get to is the realm of growth, acceleration. You experience more joy. You experience more happiness because now you're making doors open. You're achieving your dreams. You're achieving your goals. You're pushing past what is comfortable. You're pushing past what the naysayers are saying, and you are moving into the direction that you want your life to go. For a lot of people, they're stuck here in their comfort zone, status quo, just maintaining the state of affairs, just letting not bygones, what am I saying? Letting life just go on by as normal, and they're just going on, and that's just it, right? But in this realm, This very limited. You don't experience this. And this, definitely you don't, because you're just not pushing past what's comfortable. And so if you want to take that leap, whatever it is that you want to make happen, you're going to need to push past the comfort zone. The comfort zone is the enemy of growth, is the enemy of progress, is the enemy of success, because you're comfortable. Imagine if a woman wanted to give birth and she was totally comfortable. I mean, let that metaphor sink and sitting with you. Imagine childbirth, something beautiful and painful, yes, but something beautiful as childbirth, the ability to bring another human into this world. Imagine if the woman just sat down there comfortably. She didn't push, no labor pains, no nothing, and she just sat there. Oh, okay, sorry, I got that. Let me see that. Let me see if we saw that. Is that better? Yes. Can you see that? I think Christine wanted me to hold it a little better. See if you can see it. Yeah? It's not upside down. Yeah. Okay, I'll hold it for a few more seconds. See that there. And so I was saying that that's your comfort zone. That's when you move past your comfort. Oh, fantastic. You go into possibilities. From possibilities, you go into growth, acceleration. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, imagine the pregnant woman. Imagine she didn't push, she didn't do anything, and she just sat down there, just very comfortable. Is she gonna give birth to that baby? Heck no, it's not gonna happen. I have never heard of a pregnant woman giving birth in absolute calm and stillness without having to push. Now that's the same thing. If you want to experience possibilities and growth and acceleration and more joy and more happiness, you're gonna need to push. You're gonna need to push past your comfort zone. So whatever that is, and I just want to speak to that for a minute. Whatever that is for you, whatever the challenge is, you would need to push past it. Whatever you want to accomplish, whatever you want to succeed in, whether it's the fact that people are talking about you, whether it's the fact that people feel like you don't deserve to be there, you're going to need to push past what's comfortable. I almost bit my lip there. You're going to need to push past what is comfortable, push past your talkings, your saying, and just step into what you want to make happen. Okay, so we are quickly coming to an end of the session, but I hope that helps. So for me, it's more about what's it gonna be? Are you gonna just stay where you are, or are you gonna start trying to move past where you are at? Are you going to start trying to become more? Are you going to acknowledge that fear and know that, okay, this fear is not trying to stop me. This is not the bad kind of fear. It's not trying to keep me from being eaten. So my brain doesn't know that. So now it's a signal that I am moving in the right direction, that I am pushing past like that pregnant woman. And then it's also, hey, this is just a love note. My brain is interpreting it different, but really this is a love note from my brain telling me that, you know, it's looking out for me. And thank you for that. Are you going to start taking the steps? There's this, I don't know about the proverb, but I heard this. And it says, four birds were sitting on a branch, and four of them decided to fly away. How many birds remained on the branch? If you're still with me, tell me, type it in. Four birds were sitting on a branch, and four of them decided to fly away. How many birds were left on the branch? What do you think? I'll wait for that. Hey, Telema. Anybody? How many decided? How many stayed back? Or maybe I'll give you the answer. Yes. None. How many stayed back? None. Okay. All right. Okay. I see that. 0. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to tell you. 4. How many remained on the branch? 4 birds remained on the branch. Oh, sorry. I told you the answer before you typed that. 4 birds remained on the branch. What I'm trying to say is, so if whether you decide to take a step, the fact that you decided to take a step, until you actually take the action, nothing's happening. So the fact that they decided to fly off, well, they didn't fly off. They just decided to. And deciding is good. So don't get me wrong. It's good to decide. But until you take the action, you're going to be where you are. So if four birds decided that they wanted to fly off, did they actually fly off? No, they just stayed on the ground. They just decided, but it didn't mean that they took action. It didn't mean they took action. Hey, thanks for joining us, Debs. It doesn't mean that they took action. And so here's my point as I conclude, okay, is the fact that if you want to make this happen, if you want to take a step, if you want to make 2020, the rest of 2020 better, if you want to actually also then use 2020 as a springboard for 2021, if you want to achieve some big goals, if you want to step out, then you have got to take a leap. You've got to move. You've got to make some decisions and go with it. Making the decisions is not just enough. You have to actually take the action. And so that's what I want you to contemplate today and everything we've talked about. I'm going to get this video. All right, I think I will do this. I think this is how it works. I think Instagram will then give me this video, I think. But if that's possible, I'm going to upload this video on YouTube, on my YouTube page, so that you can come back to this conversation that we had, especially if you joined us a little later and you missed a lot of the information that I shared in my beautiful drawing where I explained a whole lot of stuff there. So if you missed that, I'm gonna get this video uploaded on my YouTube channel so that you can come back to it and you can just listen to it again. And by all means, you can leave me your comments in the comment section, or you can send me a DM if you have any more questions. But so that you can just come back to it and take some actions. I'm always on Instagram, so you can always just reach me on Instagram. But if you want more support, one-on-one support, you can just click the link in my bio and you can book yourself a free discovery session. And let's talk about it and see how I can support you to move past where you are, to make some goals happen, to just achieve the growth that you want to for 2020, or getting you set for 2021, or just to become more the woman, the man that you want to be. All right. So I'm going to sign up very shortly unless you have a question. But I think I'm going to be signing up soon. So I'll give you a minute or two to either sip your drink, your tea, or whatever it is you have, or leave a comment, a question, or just a thumbs up to say, oh, Christiana, I think you were fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay, whatever you want to do, I'll give you a minute or so to just say hello, to say bye-bye, or to ask a question. I'm going to drink my tea in the meantime. My daughter got me this mug, and it says work hard. And my goodness, I have been working hard, but I love it so much anyways. It's just my reminder with my special tea bag from Inspired Teas, which says sit back and relax and do the things you never got a chance to do. I love them. Oh, thank you, Christine. I am glad that you could join us. I think I'm going to do more of the sessions, so watch out on my Instagram page. I will do more, but I think what I'm going to be working on more is something special. Something special. You're going to know about it. You're going to say it. But hey, I think that's about us. Thank you all for coming. I'm glad that you showed up. I'm glad you showed up. I think I'm going to be here again next Thursday. But I think I'm going to come with something a little different, something special. But yeah. Hey, beautiful. Thank you for coming, Gary. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to sign off right now. Unless anybody wants to say anything. But hey, it's been a great time. Thank you for joining me. And reach out to me in my DM if you want to. Book yourself a free discovery session if you want to go through something. Thank you. God bless you. Have a good evening.